This podcast is sponsored by nobody. Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. I am so excited for today's show because my good friend Lisa Everetts, the host of Ninja Pop Podcast, is coming back on, and we are going to nerd out on 80s movie soundtracks. We talked about that last time. Like, oh, next time that she comes on, we're going to nerd out on soundtracks from the 80s, and I cannot wait. It's Pop Ninja. Sorry, I'm always saying Ninja Pop. It's actually Pop Ninja is the name of the podcast she's the co-host of, and it's going to be another great conversation. Lisa and I always have great conversations every time we talk because we're such nerds. You know, we're about 15 years apart in age, but we're both nerds. Let summer begin. June summer has been a great month ever since I came back from hiatus, from moving, and it's going to keep on getting better and better. I've been having real toe curlers, and I'm going to keep on having toe curlers because I just love podcasting, as you all know, and it is friggin' awesome. So yeah, here is my new interview with Lisa Everetts. Hey Lisa, welcome back. How are you
Hey,
today, love?
good. How are you doing?
It's just another day in paradise. It is hot over here. I'm talking like almost scorching hot over here.
Yeah, we've had it's almost been 100 degrees for the last couple of days, and I'm not sure. It might be about 85 now. So that actually seems like a nice cool day. I guess I don't know.
It's
So
91,
yeah,
91 over here. So let's get into 80s movie soundtracks. Did you write a list? Because I did.
I wrote a list, and my list kept growing and growing and growing. So I
Yeah.
didn't know how long you wanted this to go on for. So but I'm sure our list might vary. So like by the time we get through yours and mine, we should have a zillion of them. So yeah,
We probably have the same list.
that'd be funny. That'd be cool. I bet we have at least 50%.
Yes. Okay. So I'm counting songs that are not included on the album, but in the movie as well too. So just so you know, let's start the Last American Virgin. Oh
I
my
got
God,
that.
there's so
Yeah,
many great
okay.
songs. So many great songs in this one. You know, Keep on Loving You, REO Speedwagon, Angel Eyes, which is the only other hit that Tommy Two Tone had.
I love that song.
Yeah,
I love that song. I forgot about that song. Actually, yeah, I love it. I have it on a CD.
it's a beautiful, beautiful one. Yeah, Whip It by Devo, which happens during the classic dick measuring scene.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah, that goes. That's appropriate, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Airwaves by Fortune. I interviewed Mick Fortune, the drummer, 2 years ago, and we even talked about that scene.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love Just Once. I used to do that in karaoke, and I used to do it very badly. That's James Ingram and Quincy Jones.
Yeah. That's a
Yeah.
good one. And oh no, right?
Yeah.
Commodores,
Now,
right? No, is it the Commodores or Lionel Richie?
oh yeah, the Commodores is on the soundtrack. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one. That's the song that I think of when I think of that movie.
Right.
The whole end scene in it. Yeah.
Now this is a weird one. I will follow by YouTube, and they were brand new. I think they were on their second album when this movie was being made, and I guess
Oh.
I guess people thought they were going to be a one-hit wonder, but they outlasted everybody I've mentioned.
Yeah. You know what? I did not know that was you too. You
Yeah.
know that.
Oh wow, I knew it.
I need to pay more attention. I am only going by memory of like what I mean. I have the CDs. I didn't even actually look at what was on them. I'm just
Hmm.
going by what I remember from the actual movie that I can remember the songs from. Of. So mine might not be as precise as your list. So yeah.
Yeah. Better Luck Next Time by Oingo Boingo. Of course, they were the king of 80s soundtracks.
Yeah. Isn't that
Yeah.
cool though? how this movie, a lot of people don't even know about it because it's more like a B, I guess, movie. I don't know if that's what you'd call it. I mean, it was big in the 80s. I mean, it was always on with Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Like both of them like played like back to back all the time.
Yeah.
I love The Last American Virgin, and I don't know that if you tell people about this movie, the average person is going to remember it. Do you know what I mean? Only like us 80s, like diehard, 80s people. But the soundtrack of it was like, had all those great songs on it. It's not like this was like Top Gun. You know what I mean? Like it was a lesser known movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It was, I mean, it's got a huge, following because of Diane Franklin in the soundtrack,
Yeah.
But it's not as known as Fast Times. I mean, they came out back to back in the summer of '82, and they were both controversial for having an abortion scene in them and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, I mean, half the soundtrack is former Eagles members because their former manager produced the soundtrack.
Yeah.
You got So Much in Love by Timothy B. Schmid, Love Rules, Don Henley, Waffle Stomp, Joe Walsh, Never Surrender, Don Felder, not to mention Somebody's Baby by Jackson Browne. He was also managed by the same guy. And I'll Leave It Up to You by Poco, which had Eagles members when they first started.
Yeah, and the song by Stevie Nicks, didn't she date one of the Eagles at one time? Like, doesn't she have a connection
it was Joe Walsh. And they were the inspiration for the Tom Petty song, Don't Come Around Here No More.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Oh, Fast Times has, like, every song on it was a hit,
Oh, yeah. Almost every one of them was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it called Sleeping Angel? Is that the name of the song by Stevie Nicks on there?
Yes, it is. Sleeping Angel.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's just out of memory. But, yeah, I love that song. And I know exactly which scene it's when Damone is trying to get the money.
Yes.
Like for the abortion. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I helped you out when you needed me to, man. Now you gotta pay me back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. When you wanted those tickets, who got them for you? Yep.
Yeah.
Right. So close to the stage, you probably could have done whatever.
You could have scared the band.
But something so close, yeah.
He said you could have scared the band, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. So those are both great. What else you got? What else?
We got the beat from the Go-Go's. I mean, every time I watch the movie and the Universal logo comes up with that Gina Shock drum beat, I just get a rush, and I told her that, and Raised on the Radio by the Ravens. I tried to get the lead singer on here, and I couldn't
when Brad's washing his car.
Yep. Don't Be Lonely by Quarter Flash. My first musician interview was Marv Ross. Goodbye, Goodbye, Oingo Boingo. That's their rockabilly song. I love it.
Yeah, well, if you think about it, like Oingo Boingo and Quarter Flash, they've done other movie soundtracks too, because Quarter Flash did Night Shift. They did the lead song to the movie Night Shift.
And Gremlins, they did the Gremlins song too. I can't remember the name of it offhand. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And of course, Michael Sembello of Flashdance did the Gremlins Mega Madness song for the bar scene.
Wow, and then he was in Flashdance. And Flashdance has an amazing soundtrack too.
Yep, what a feeling and Maniac.
Yeah, it's on my list. It's on my list. Did you put it on your list?
Yes, I did, but the only songs I know offhand are those. I'd have to go on the soundtrack page on Wikipedia.
Oh, I know them because I have the Flashdance LP record. I just bought it not too long ago. So it has I Love Rock and Roll by Joan Jett.
Yeah.
It has Manhunt by Karen. I don't know how you pronounce her last name. Kamen, Kamon. And then it has Imagination by Laura Branigan, Lady by Joe Esposito, and He's a Dream by, I think her name is Shandi.
Yep.
How you say it?
Shandai Cinnamon.
Shandy. So, yeah.
That's a Kiss song, Shandai.
And I love that soundtrack. I love Flashdance.
Kim Carnes,
You know
yeah.
what? I just thought of. I didn't even write it down, but now that I think about Flashdance, I should have put Footloose on here, and I didn't even put Footloose on.
I did.
You did? You got Footloose? Okay, because I have that soundtrack too, and I know all the songs on it, but I forgot to put it on my list till just now. But that's a good one too.
Yeah, because I had Wendy Jo back on last week, so it's only natural I had to mention Footloose.
Footloose. Yeah, I like in Footloose. I love what's her name? Carla. I have her LP record. She does. I think Somebody's Eyes. Carla Bonoff.
Okay.
I love her. I have her whole album. But it's not from Footloose. But that was I think the biggest hit she ever had was on the Footloose soundtrack.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a huge album, Holding Out for a Hero, Bonnie Tyler, which was also used in Short Circuit 2 and Who's Harry Crumb. That song is on there. Almost
Kenny
Paradise.
Loggins. Yeah. I'm Free.
Yep. Let's Hear It for the Boy, of course. I always remember that video. That kid's in timeout in the classroom, and he's very fidgety, like he has to pee. Yeah. Oh my gosh! There's okay. How many soundtracks do you think you have on your list? How many? Probably about 15.
15? I probably got 30. Okay, because I'm okay, just so I had an idea. Okay, okay. What else? Who else? Who else you want to talk about?
Let's see. Valley Girl.
Valley Girl. There's 2 soundtracks too.
Yeah, the other one that came out from Rhino that has songs that weren't even in it, like the Earthquake song by the Little Girls, and I asked them about it, and one of them told me that I guess the person who was in charge of the music regretted not putting the song on the original soundtrack and putting it in the movie, and so that was to make up for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good but the second one is really hard to find.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the first one though had some modern English on it. It has Melt With You and the Plum Souls and Josie Cotton is on Valley Girl.
Pat Travers, I love you.
And The Monster of Love, that's on there.
School Is In and Johnny Are You Queer from Josie Cotton.
Josie Cotton. Yeah. Have you talked to her?
I tried to. It was a complicated process. Greg Gilbert got to years ago, but I didn't. And it's okay. She exudes a little bit of narcissism, so I don't need that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, I've seen her on Facebook. I might be friends with her on Facebook. I've never talked to her, but yeah.
I talked to Bonnie Hayes though. She was extraordinary. I loved her.
Who's Bonnie Hayes? What?
The opening song, "Girls Like Me."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Her brother is Chris Hayes and Huey Lewis in the News, the guitarist.
Oh, I've seen them in concert.
Yeah.
I saw them.
She's very, very nice. I recommend getting her. She's nice if you ever want to interview her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I appreciate you sharing your people with me.
Of course not. They're not my people. They're everybody's.
For the Lucinda Dickey thing, because that's. I'm so excited. I can hardly stand it. I'm going to be like you. I don't know if I'll be able to get it together. So yeah.
I know. It was so hard, but I got through it and she was awesome.
I just got to say, you really I don't know if you research your people or you just know this stuff because you seem to have a brain that is like a encyclopedia of 80s whatever, everything of pop culture, everything movie music from that time period. You have it in an encyclopedia in your head.
I do research to brush up on on things. But yes, I do have a pre-existing encyclopedic brain.
But you don't sound like if you're talking, you're having a regular conversation. You're not really searching for things to talk about. You flow really well, with your conversations with people. This
is how I talk on the streets. I'm like this 24/7.
That's awesome. That's really good.
Yeah.
Okay. So, was there more Valley Girl, or you want to talk some more?
I wanted to bring up Who Can It Be Now from Men at Work. I gotta say, my dad always associated the song with cocaine, because it's kind of a paranoid anthem. And I found out not too long ago that's exactly how they got the idea for the song. I think Colin Hay, he lived next door to a cocaine dealer, and he was always paranoid. And sometimes he would hear people knocking at his door, and it was usually, bad people who wanted cocaine, and even like gang people and stuff. And so that's where the inspiration for the song came from.
Really? I did not
Yeah.
know that.
Oh yeah.
Very. Yeah.
I mean, even in the video, I mean, it looks like it's a paranoid anthem, especially
Well,
along the lines of somebody's watching me from Rockwell.
yeah, but Men at Work, they're from Australia.
Yeah.
Right. So was the person in Australia doing the cocaine, or were they here in the United States doing the cocaine? They were knocking on the door.
I'm
So
guessing. I'm guessing it was Australia. I'm sure they do the same thing we do.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if anything's as bad as here, but yeah. So yeah, I always think whenever I hear that song, I think of I think I was in about ninth grade, and it was on the jukebox, and they played that song over and over and over on the jukebox at lunch in the cafeteria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You couldn't avoid it. It was just one of those songs you couldn't avoid.
Yeah, I like Men at Work. See, that's not even my favorite Men at Work song. My favorite Men at Work song is Mistake. It's Mistake and Overkill. Those are my two favorite songs.
Those are great. They're so dark and so great. I love them.
Yeah, they're so dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, It's a Mistake is about nuclear war.
Yeah, I know. It's about war for sure. Yep. Poor guys. Yeah, going out to war. Yep. So, any more on Valley Girl?
No, let's move along to Risky Business.
Risky Business? I don't have them on my list.
Okay, well, the entire score is by Tangerine Dream, who did lots of soundtracks in the 80s.
And Phil Collins, In the Air Tonight.
That's on there. That was before Miami Vice. It was also on that soundtrack as well, for the pilot. DMSR by Prince, which was on the 1999 album, is on there. But that soundtrack, oh my God, of Tangerine Dream, it's just so beautiful.
That's a great one. I didn't even think of them.
It has a Peter Gabriel feel to it.
Yeah, I have a feeling I'm going to have some on here you probably haven't thought of it, but when I say them, you're going to be like, yeah. So
you could say them. Go ahead.
Say them. How many? Do you have any more that you want to do? You want to do all yours, and then I'll tell you which ones that you didn't have that I have. Do you want to do that?
Okay, let's do it like that. I'll do mine first.
Okay.
The Manish Boy by Muddy Waters is on the soundtrack. I love the blues, so I love that. Old Time Rock and Roll by Bob Seger. Of course.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah.
My favorite movie soundtrack of all time is Ghostbusters.
I don't have Ghostbusters. I can't believe I didn't think of them. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah,
Ghostbusters 1 and 2, because part 2 with Bobby Brown, that Ghostbusters song, I love that one.
On Your Own, that's a great one.
Yeah.
Of course, Ray Parker Jr.'s is timeless, even though they stole it from Huey Lewis and the News. Clean Up the Town by the Busboys is great. I love that. That song was performed at my cousin's wedding when I was 10, I remember. Magic by Mick Smiley. Oh my God. So he has a YouTube page, and I wrote that I wanted to interview him, and he gave me his email, and I sent him an email, didn't hear back for weeks, and then I resent it, and he blocked me. I'm like, what? the? Yeah.
Wow.
Strange guy. The Alice twins who do Saving the Day, I interviewed them in 2020. They were great guys. They sent me autographed CDs in the mail and had pictures of them in Ghostbuster outfits.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I have who do I have? Ernie Hudson's autograph. I have that autograph. And I have a Ghostbusters lunchbox and thermos and a little tiny Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and a big Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. And my son was, we did a Ghostbusters whole thing for Halloween one time where I had I had somebody running down the street dressed like a ghost, and then I had two Ghostbusters chasing them with their proton packs, playing the Ghostbusters music on a boombox thing, and then we were handing out little ghosts to all the kids that came for Halloween one year. It was cool. It was really fun.
I love that. Probably the first hit the Thompson Twins had in the U.S. in the Name of Love is on the soundtrack. It's during the scene where they're eating the Chinese food before they get their first call.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool. That's cool trivia too. That's really cool.
Yeah, Hot Night by Laura Branigan. I interviewed her manager who handles her estate, and we were talking about her soundtrack songs and stuff.
Aw. Yeah, that's a bummer. She died way too young.
I know, and I was like, why isn't there a documentary about her and stuff? And she's like, she's thought about doing one or doing a book or something, but I don't know.
I have her greatest hits. I love the song that she does called "Show Me Heaven,"
Mm-hmm.
and I love Spanish Eddie. She does those two songs on her best hits. I love those.
On one of her last albums, she did a cover of The Name Game, and it is so awesome. It sounds very dark, the way she approached it in her vocals, but then there's this children's choir of throwing out the name and stuff. It was really cool. Go on YouTube if you want to hear it.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah, she was like, what, 61 or something when she died? Like, it wasn't...
Oh, no, she was like 51.
She was 51?
Yeah.
51?
This was 20 years ago. Yeah.
Oh. No, I thought she made it out of her 50s, so geez.
No. And she went to the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts. She studied as an actress, and she was on this horror anthology show called Monsters, where she's a woman who travels with this monster in a case, and like Martin Downey Jr. is playing a sleazy radio host, and like she makes the alien eat him at the end.
Oh, I never saw that.
Yeah.
She had a brain aneurysm, didn't she?
Yeah. And she did a teen sex comedy movie called Muggsy's Girls about mud wrestling, which
she acted in it?
Yeah, she's the star of it.
Oh.
It was in '84. It's a really good bad movie. Christy Summers is in it. Ruth Gordon is in it. Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to look that one up.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah. Sometimes when you're telling me all this stuff, then I have to listen to your podcast so I can take notes on the podcast that we actually did. You know what I mean? Like I forget like by the end of it because you have so much information that it's like I got to go back and take notes. So
yeah, I might be interviewing the director of it soon. He was a child actor in the '60s, Kevin Brody.
Oh.
Revenge of the Nerds.
I don't have that one. Mm-mm.
Okay, well, let's see. One Foot in Front of the Other is Bone Symphony. Oh my God. So I tried to get one of the three members on here years ago. Apparently, they're all ashamed of this song and this project, and they all hate each other. I don't know why.
Oh.
Yeah, it was awkward. It was like, wow, I'd never seen anything like that before. Thriller, of course. We Are the Champions, Burning Down the House. Are You Ready for the Sex Girls, which was also in Last American Virgin.
Oh yeah, what is the song that they do their whole little like it's their rap? Is it their own song? Who sings
that's their own song, just like the one in the sequel. No on 15 was their song.
Oh.
Yeah. It's just written for it, yeah.
Okay, because it's like, I love that scene, like when they do I've watched it over and over, like when they do their whole, when they're up on stage for the competition and they all have and they win, like, the competition. I love that. That's like my favorite scene in the movie. Love it. I've played that over and over. Yep.
Yeah. The Karate Kid. I've interviewed two people from the soundtrack. Baxter Robertson, who did Feel the Night during the carnival sequence, the county fair sequence.
Yeah.
Joe Esposito, who did You're the Best. He was kind of a grump.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he did songs for so many 80s soundtracks. Coming to America, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Cruel Summer from Bananarama is on the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Moment of Truth by Survivor. Of course, they did Eye of the Tiger and Burning Heart for the Rocky sequels.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, here's something I bet you didn't know. Peter Cetera's Glory of Love, which was the big hit on the second soundtrack. That song was originally intended for Rocky IV.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
the studio thought it was too poppy. Stallone loved it, but majority ruled over that decision, and so it ended up being used for Karate Kid Part Two, and I actually think that was a better choice.
You know, did Rocky. They had to have a soundtrack because the Rocky like theme song would have been like, it was a huge hit. But thinking about like all these movies, like even just even like the background music, like to Jaws and to Halloween and stuff, like the background music is just. I have the Halloween, like with John Carpenter, he wrote it, I have that music on an album. I don't know if they have a soundtrack to Halloween, but, thinking about what you're saying, what you were just saying, like, there's the thing that why we're doing this and talking about the soundtracks to begin with is, to me, they don't make movies anymore that have good soundtracks, and they were so many, like, just like the soundtracks were like amazing. Like I don't know if you have any of these yet, but see, I watched Bratz, with Andrew McCarthy, and they were talking about like St. Elmo's Fire, like how the soundtrack was so iconic, and they got all the actors to come back just for the video, for John Parr's video.
Yeah.
And so when people hear that music and it just starts out, you think St. Elmo's Fire. There's no movies like that now. There's no movies that have like this kind of music to it.
It had the soundtracks, it had the music videos. I mean, it was a hot, booming business back in the day.
Yeah. It's sad. It makes me sad, like, that it's just, like, gone. Like, it's gone. Like, there was all this talent. There was all this stuff, and it's just, it's just gone. Like, they were just pumping out these movies, these just, and see, the Brat Pack thing, Andrew McCarthy, he was very, I don't know if you saw it yet, but he was
Not
very,
yet.
like, he said it kind of ruined his life, kind of. He hadn't seen some of these people for, like, 30 years. He come back, Emilio Estevez was kind of, he wasn't real friendly, I guess there was some bad stuff between the two of them, but they kind of, and it was time for them to like let it go, But they were talking about these movies like that come out and 16 Candles and Pretty in Pink, like the soundtracks to those, both of those. I don't know if you have them. Do you have them on your list?
Which ones? I'm sorry.
16 Candles and Pretty in Pink. Do you have them?
Oh yeah, the John Hughes movies. They're definitely on here.
Yeah, and Breakfast Club. Because the Simple Minds, Don't You Forget About Me.
Yep.
I was just at a concert. There was on this past Thursday night. I went to a concert and they had a group there called Giants of Science, and they had they played like 80s cover music, and they played "Don't You Forget About Me." And it's like I said. I have a girl staying with me. She's like 21 years old, and I'm like, I can name that tune in 2 notes. Yeah. Do you know that after I saw that you had done the interview with Lucinda Dickey that day, I think that night, and this is just totally random, it was the new name that tune was on TV, and I don't know if you ever see it. It's like Randy Jackson is on it. Do you know what I'm talking about, the new one? They played Ain't Nobody from Breakin. That was one of the Name That tunes. That was the actual, like like they have 10 songs that come on and they have to name all 10 of them to win like the big money. But that same night, I'm like, I just showed the girl that's staying with me, I just showed her that whole scene in Breakin where she's learning how to break dance and that song, and I'm like, I love it. And then it comes on TV, how many years later, like on a new show, in a game show, so that was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I talked to Carol Lynn Towns, who did 99 and Believe in the Beat.
I love those. I love those.
Oh, she was a great lady. Great lady.
Yeah, I've tried 3 times to listen to the whole Lucinda Dickey interview, and I know that you were talking about ozone. There was, was there some stuff going on with him?
He had a huge ego, and during the making of those movies, she felt intimidated by his talent and his ego, and so did
Oh,
Shrimp. Even though Shrimp worked with him on the Lionel Richie tour, he
yeah.
still felt intimidated by his talent. But
Oh,
they resolved things eventually. But like Shrimp is like her little brother. She's always been close to him.
oh.
It shows in that scene in Breakin' 2 under the tree when they're talking about the Latin girl
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
likes him. Yeah, yeah. I mean that is totally real. I mean she and him like had a great relationship and still do.
Oh, see, I thought that they were all like buddies. It just seems like it. It just seems like they were goofing around, and it like they caught like them actually just goofing around, like on in the movie. Those movies were so like upbeat and like just like lighthearted and just even though there was like a nice message in there of like them coming together for their community and like, making miracles and doing all
Hmm.
that. I just love those movies. I love them, and those two soundtracks are awesome movie soundtracks too. So
Yeah. Oh my God. So Carol answered my belly button question, right? And she made me laugh out loud. She was like, "Shit, my belly button's buried."
yeah.
That's the kind of answer you
Did
hope.
you get that? What did you ask her?
Who, Lucinda?
Yeah.
I no, because I seen it in a movie,
Oh.
cheerleader camp. You could see her in a bikini in that, so I already
Oh.
knew the answer to that one. But like,
Oh.
yeah, I mean, you hope for an answer like that when you're talking to somebody. I thought it was
Yeah.
pretty funny, you know.
Yeah. Did you ask her about her toes?
No, we didn't play the secret silly game because
Oh.
it was getting close to dinner time, and I just didn't want to stay on longer. Like
Yeah.
I needed to
Yeah.
go eat.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I didn't get. I actually, what happened was when you talked about her being on Solid Gold, I went online to see where I could find her on Solid Gold because I used to watch Solid Gold all the time. I loved it. But all the quality, I think you can actually get them on DVD, like they're remastered or something. I think that
Yeah.
they're out there, but the quality on YouTube is really blurred.
Yeah, it's not good. Yeah, and I think they do that for
So I was
copyright
like, how can you
reasons.
know? And then I'm like, then her name came up. Like, and because I wasn't paying attention, I was looking at the song title, and
Yeah,
I wasn't looking at that they were putting the name of the dancer on there. And I
right.
feel bad that she got fired because she had to go do a commercial. But yeah, that's sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she was a really good dancer. She doesn't. I think she doesn't even give herself enough credit.
No.
I think she's an awesome dancer.
Yeah, she's
I
very,
I
very,
think
very
she's better
talented.
than some of the dancers that were on there a long time. I would rather see her. I loved her dancing, and I love the whole scene where she learned to break dance. That was the fun part of that movie.
And
My favorite scene.
and she's very talented as an actress too. We can't
Yeah.
forget that. You know. Beverly Hills Cop.
Oh, yep. We are totally. We're probably at about 25% now because I think I didn't have any of these. So yeah.
Well,
Okay. Yep.
there's two Patti LaBelle songs, "New Attitude" and "Stir It Up," which are great. Um, Glenn Fry, of course, "The Heat Is On." He was supposed to do "Shakedown" for two, but I think he had surgery on his vocal cords, if I'm not mistaken. And Bob Seger was a friend, so he gave it to him. And that's Bob Seger's only number one hit. And
Really?
he actually didn't do it live for a long time, and then in the last few years, he's been doing it live.
Oh.
Um, okay, there's an Oingo Boingo song on the soundtrack that's not in the movie, and it's credited to Danny Elfman. When they signed to MCA Records, he had a one solo album obligation, and he did an album called "So Low," and that song was on there. It's just Oingo Boingo, but with the Danny Elfman name. And he also did that for the summer school song "Happy" at the beginning.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. Yeah. That's another one. Okay. Yeah.
Just One of the Guys.
Oh, don't have it. Nope.
Oh, there's some great ones on that one. "Prove It to You" by Dwight Twilley. Twilley was so underrated. He unfortunately had a huge ego as well. And he and I have the same birthday, June 6th.
Oh. Wow.
Trouble by Lindsey Buckingham. That was like his big solo
I
hit.
love that song. I have it in my jukebox. I love it. Love that song. I didn't know it was in it. I didn't know it was on the soundtrack.
Yep. Well, no. It was okay. He did in 1982, but then this was just in the movie. It's not on the actual album. Um, okay. Rod Stewart had a couple guys in his band called Brock and Davis, and they perform at the prom, and they do that song "The Hard Way." And it's a great song.
No. Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
great one. Girls Got Something, Boys Ain't Got, Midnight Star. That's the opening song in the movie. The theme song by Shalabar is great. Yeah, and of course Ronnie Spector. What's it called? Something Tonight. Tonight I'm Yours,
I've
Baby.
only seen just one of the guys one time.
It's like Tonight I'm Yours, Baby, or something it's called.
Yeah.
That's great. Back to the Future.
Oh, yeah. Power of Love.
And Back in Time. The song that's playing when the bum is on the bench at the end, that's a Eric Clapton song that he did during his Phil Collins era called Heaven is One Step Away. Lindsey Buckingham's Time Bomb Town, that's the song playing when Marty first wakes up at like midnight to go to Twin Pines Mall.
Yeah.
That's there.
Wow.
Top Gun, even though I don't like the movie, I love the soundtrack.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about that movie either.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't like Maverick at all. Yeah.
Overrated.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never liked that movie. I don't know why. But of course, you like Berlin.
Yep, I love Berlin.
Yeah. I knew that would be coming. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Loverboy. What's it called? When I See Your Eyes? Is that the name of it? Yeah. Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins. Now, I gotta say, I found out REO Speedwagon, Toto, and I think Foreigner, they all turned down that song.
What do you mean? Like, they wrote the song and then they give it to the artist to sing it? They don't ask the artist?
Harold Faltermeyer, who also did the Beverly Hills Cop soundtrack songs, like The Heat Is On and so forth, he wrote Danger Zone, and they were going to give it to those three bands.
Oh, I did not know that.
They all turned it down. Yeah.
Well, when you were saying Kenny Loggins, and he did the Footloose soundtrack, but then it came into my head that he did, the theme song to National Lampoon's Vacation too.
No, that's Lindsey Buckingham.
Yeah.
No, that's Lindsey Buckingham. He did Holiday Road.
Oh, Holiday, Holiday. Oh.
Kenny Loggins did the Caddyshack songs.
You're very right. Yeah, because I'm like, they do sound a little bit the same though. Come to think of it, but.
No, Kenny Loggins did the Caddyshack songs.
I guess Lindsey Buckingham, we just said, did the other, did a song from, which was the one that we were just on? Which one did you just say?
Oh, Holiday Road is Lindsey Buckingham.
No, but before that, what was the song you said he did that was in the end of, was it Back to the Future?
Oh, no. That's Time Bomb Town, Lindsey Buckingham.
What was that in? What movie?
That was in Back to the Future.
Yeah. So Lindsey Buckingham was in that, and then we went into Kenny Loggins, and then both of them were in Caddyshack, or was it Caddyshack? Yeah.
Kenny Loggins
Caddyshack and Lampoon's Vacation are two different movies. So I'm trying to put two separate movies into one soundtrack.
Kenny Loggins is I'm All Right and Nobody's Fool for the Caddyshack.
Yeah, Nobody's Fool. Yeah. Love that one.
Cheap Trick's Mighty Wings is the closing song in Top Gun, and that's also a Harold Faltermeyer song. That they did that song on some I want to say British TV show when the movie came out, but they've never done it live in concert.
Oh.
Which is interesting.
Yeah.
Mannequin.
Don't have Mannequin. Love Mannequin. Yep.
Do You Dream About Me by Alicia? That sounds like Madonna so much.
I love that. Is that the song? What's the song that's playing when she's like in the mall?
Yes, that's the song.
That's that song?
Yeah, that's the song.
Yeah, I like that song.
The opening song, In My Wildest Dreams by Belinda Carlisle. Oh my God. So, I interviewed her son, Duke Mason. We're doing a tribute to his grandfather, James Mason. And he's got a Zoom show on YouTube, and I'm watching this, and his mother's on there, Belinda Carlisle, and somebody who was like tuning in asked the question, uh, "What do you remember about In My Wildest Dreams for the Mannequin soundtrack?" And she literally could not remember it. You know, that was during her drug phase in the late '80s.
Oh,
Yeah,
I love Belinda Carlisle. I love her.
yeah.
Yep, she's one of my favorite singers of the '80s.
I knew who she was before I knew the Go-Go's.
Yep, I just thought she was beautiful. Yep.
And of course, nothing's going to stop us now from Starship.
Yep.
That was not.
That song was playing the night I met my husband. Yep.
Oh.
On the radio. Yep.
That was not only a #1 hit, but it was also an Academy Award winner, which is bizarre.
Oh, I did not know that. Yeah. You know what? When you start talking about like that, you said. You said a song, and it made me think of another. Like my head went into another movie that I didn't even write down now, which I had, which is Once Bitten.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
You know, because there's songs on there that they do at the dance that
hands off. Yeah.
Can't believe I didn't put them down, but I thought of it when you were just talking, and then other movies start popping in my head that I forgot about. Yep.
Yeah, let's talk about your list now.
My list? Oh, okay. My list, okay. One of my favorite soundtracks is to Fire with Fire.
Oh, yeah.
With Virginia Madsen.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Craig Schieffer. Okay, because they have Slave to Love in there, and then the title song, Fire with Fire, by Wild Blue. And then there's the song, If Anybody Had a Heart, by John Waite. And then that goes over into the About Last Night soundtrack, because it's also in that movie. You know, If Anybody Had a Heart, it's at the end. And About Last Night has an awesome soundtrack, too, because it has songs like by Sheena Easton. You know, I love that sound. It's a great soundtrack. I have so many, and then so many. The Jazz Singer, I have that.
Oh, yeah.
That with Neil Diamond. That had a great soundtrack. Even On Golden Pond had a movie soundtrack.
Okay, now you're shifting away from the teen movie stuff, which is mostly what I had.
Zap,
no, it's okay, it's okay. But I'm just saying, it would never occurred to me to mention those movies.
Yeah, no, these ones I have these on. I have those LP records. That's why I was, you know. So, but okay, Zapped is in the teen movies. Okay, has a really good soundtrack. It has the song, the Queen and King of Hearts.
Yep. Stacey Q.
Yeah. And Class, the movie Class. It has the song Hiding from Love by Bryan Adams, which is really hard to find. I found it on a 45 record, but it's hard to find. It's even hard to find on YouTube, that song. I don't know what album it's off of, but it's in that soundtrack. Private School for Girls, you know, that with Matthew Modine and Phoebe Cates. She sang on the soundtrack to Private School.
Yep. Rock This Town from Stray Cats is in that.
What's that? The Stray Cats?
Rock This Town by the Stray Cats. It's in Private School.
Private School, Yeah, I love that movie. That's a great movie.
Oh my God, I remember being 2 years old, maybe 3, and my mom comes in and I'm watching the ending when they're all mooning at graduation, and my mom's like, "Why are they sticking their asses out?" My mom always caught me watching nudie when I was a kid, always.
Yeah, I always covered my head.
Oh, I had to when I was with them. I had to cover my head at all times.
My mom would stick a napkin over my head or a pillow in front of my face, or put her hand over my eyes. So
or
automatically, if a scene like that was coming on, I just automatically closed my eyes.
or if somebody was going to say something really, really awful, I had to put my fingers in my ears.
Yeah, I had to do that too. You know, or my mom would start to go la 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 la, you know, trying to you know, distract whatever was being said. Yep. I forgot from Zap the song "Gotta Believe in Magic."
Yep.
That song, I love that song. I'm not sure. Okay, if this is a teen movie, or what movie? But Endless Love had a really good soundtrack, and the title song, you know, by Lionel Richie and Diana Ross, was part of the Endless Love soundtrack.
Yep.
And there was another movie that what else? Oh, Arthur.
Yep.
I love the soundtrack to Arthur with Christopher Cross. I love the theme song. I don't know what that falls into, but it's a movie soundtrack. And Tootsie. I love the Stephen Bishop, songs from Tootsie. And I mean, you know what other I have this on the LP record. This is one of my favorite movie soundtracks. Is the soundtrack to Cat People.
Oh yeah, David Bowie putting out the fire.
Yeah. I love that, the putting out the fire. I love that song. But I love the background music in that movie. There's something about that movie, and I don't know if we've ever talked about that before because Cat People. Did you talk to Nastasia Kinski? Did you talk to her once?
No, I talked to Lynn Lowry, who played the hooker. She had a bad experience making that movie.
Oh yeah. Oh, she did. She had to fall down the steps.
Yeah, she didn't like Paul Schrader. She thought he was a bully.
Oh, yeah. The director. Well, we didn't really do. Okay, so Pretty in Pink has OMD, If You Leave, and 16 Candles. I mean, there's so many songs from that, like Whistle Down the Wind, Nick Hayward, he did like 2 songs.
Try a Little Tenderness.
Yeah. Tenderness. I have General Public. Isn't that the name of them that do that?
No. Try a Little Tenderness is Otis Redding.
Oh no, the song Tenderness.
Oh yeah, I know that song.
That is
General Public.
Science.
Yes.
That's in Weird Science.
Yes, that's General Public.
Yeah, that's what I was getting goofed up on. Yeah. And I'm like, I can see Anthony Michael Hall, and so that's where I know Anthony Michael Hall's in there in the end of the movie. So yeah, I got my
Breakfast Club, the soundtrack was produced by Keith Forsey, who was Billy Idol's producer, and he wanted Billy to do Don't You Forget About Me, and he turned it down, and he regretted it, so he recorded it for his Greatest Hits album, which I own.
Oh. Yeah, I forgot to mention, clear back to Fire with Fire, the song Slave to Love by Brian McFerry. I love that song. That's a really good song from a movie.
I gotta listen to it. I don't know it offhand.
Do you know what? There's a movie I just watched, and I know these are movie soundtracks, but Heartburn and Working Girl both have Carly Simon.
Oh yes.
All through them. Yeah. I love both of those soundtracks.
My uncle dated Carly Simon.
What's that?
My uncle dated Carly Simon.
You dated her?
Yeah.
Oh. Wow.
Around 1965 or so. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, well, she did it James Taylor, too.
Yes. Oh, they have a
child, don't they? Were they married?
I don't think so. I know he was with Carole King.
I'm pretty sure they have a kid together.
He was with Carole King.
He was?
Or no. He wrote "You've Got a Friend in Me" for her. I'm sorry. Yes, Carly Simon. Yes, he does have a kid with her.
They sing Mockingbird together, and yeah.
Yeah.
They sang a lot. They did a lot. They actually would have been a good couple. I like the two of them, but I'm gonna have to look it up. But I think they might have been married.
They were.
Okay.
I always get the two confused. Carole King, Carly Simon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
The Weird Science soundtrack. I mean, there's "Wanted Man" by Rat on there. I know. There's, of course, the Boing Go title track.
The Weird Science theme song.
Yeah, that was their biggest hit.
I like that song. Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about it though. I forgot about it, and I forgot about Once Bitten. And I didn't even think about scary movies or anything like that because those have soundtracks to them too. Like Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff. They because they are like teen, they're teen movies. Even Witchboard. I love the song "Bump in the Night" from Witchboard.
Yeah,
I love that song.
That's a good one.
And another teen movie that I love the soundtrack to is The Secret Admirer.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, the No Secrets by Van Stevenson.
Yeah, no secrets
anymore. It's no secret. Yeah, I love that song. Yeah.
That's a great one.
There's a bunch of them. Just so many.
The Heavenly Kid.
Heavenly Kid. I don't even think I've seen that movie.
Oh, see
I know
it.
Somebody, it was one of their favorite movies.
It'll bring you tears, but it'll make you laugh a lot.
Oh.
I'll tell you, it's a very funny movie, and it's got real pathos in it, and it's so underrated.
Better Off Dead.
Better Off Dead, of course, yes.
Yeah, with E.G. Daily.
Yeah, everybody wants some from Van Halen.
and Better Off Dead. I love that. I love the song. I love
Just one look.
I never actually watched that movie until this past year. I've owned it all this time, and I kept saying, and I watched pieces of it.
Yeah.
I never watched the whole thing. I watched the whole thing, and I was like blown away by the skiing scene at the end where Diane Franklin like goes down between his legs and she pulls him up, and
Yep.
you know, like whoever was doing that, and he was doing on one leg, and all. I was like, that was crazy. However they filmed that, you know. I love that scene. That was pretty cool. I can't believe I hadn't seen it before now, but you know, that's what's cool is when you find a movie like that is older, which I watched two movies. They might have been from the 90s, and I don't know what y'all you talk about or who. Do you go into like other decades besides like the 80s? Do you go into the 70s, 90s? Do you go into those?
Yeah.
Ever? With people, with your guests? Can they be from any decade?
Oh yeah, 90s comes up. Yeah, I mean I talk about everything, but 80s is always my main focus.
Who you stick to? Okay. Yeah, because actually we're gonna in our next season, whenever we get to our next season, on the Pop Ninja podcast, we're gonna bring the 90s into it. Like we're gonna start talking 90s stuff because there was like a lot of stuff. There was some good 90s movies.
Yeah.
And I just watched one last night that I loved called Revenge with
Kevin Costner.
Yeah, and there was some music in the background I never heard before, and I don't know if they have a soundtrack to that movie, but I really like that movie. You know.
Yeah, well, it's an anomaly, and I'll tell you why. Because you got Tony Scott, who's coming off of Top Gun, Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Yeah.
And this was a B movie for New World Pictures. They went under, like, right in the middle of filming, and then Columbia picked it up and distributed it. And it's head-scratching, because Costner is as a star by this point. It's like, why would they do a B movie, you know?
Yeah, but I think he was the executive producer of it. I saw that at the beginning of the movie, and the beginning of it, because I saw that Tony Scott directed it, was very Top Gun-ish because he's spinning around in the airplane and making the guy throw up, and then he's retiring from it, and then really you don't have to see anything to do with that in the rest of the movie. But the very beginning is almost like he is straight out of Top Gun, but he veered off into another, you know, like a whole another movie happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but it just seems like it started at Top Gun and then went into something else. You know? So yeah, but I liked it, and I liked Hush. I watched that too, and I think it's from the 90s. I'd never seen it, but I liked it. But yeah, like there's just so many 80s soundtracks that I don't know how long you wanted to go on about them, but yeah.
Well, you guys don't want to do like any like maybe late 70s movies as well?
Late 70s?
Yeah.
Like Star Wars soundtrack and like.
No, I mean like when you guys do your next season, I don't.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like we do 70s and 80s. Like we talk about 70s and 80s stuff. Like 70s, we talk. If we don't have like a person that we talk to, then we do. And it could be from the 70s or the 80s. Like
right.
It can be like
because you guys do Shazam.
Like a movie from the 70s or the 80s. A TV show from the 70s or the 80s. Music. That's like our pattern, you know, and then a bonus category. So
yeah, because you guys do Shazam and ISIS. So yeah, that is 70s. That makes sense.
Yeah. We covered all of them. Yeah. So
what other soundtracks like? I wanted to mention 16 Candles because Rumors in the Air from Night Ranger is on it, and the two times I've seen them live, you know, everyone went crazy when that song came on. They're all like 16 Candles, you know?
And happy birthday, you know, that song, you know. I love that. Every time I hear that, I play that for people, like when it's their birthday. I put it, and I always think of, they say it's your birthday, it's my birthday too, you know, when he's doing that, like,
of course.
But of course the Thompson twins at the end, you know, of the movie, that is like the best ending, you know, ever.
Yeah, and you got the Stray Cats version of 16 Candles, and you've got AC/DC's Snowballed from the For Those About the Rock album.
Yeah, and the Whistle Down the Wind where they're dancing in the dance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Do you know, okay, here I got a movie that we have not mentioned at all, and I don't know if we've ever talked about it, but I love this movie, and it has a song from it that I love, and it's the soundtrack to Cobra with Sylvester Stallone.
Cobra.
And I love the song Angel of the City. I love that song.
That's a good one, yeah.
Yeah, by Robert Temper.
Robert Temper, yeah, he's the guy who did No Easy Way Out for Rocky 4.
Oh, I love that song.
Yeah, that's Robert Temper. I've tried to get him on the show, but I've never heard back.
You know what has an awesome soundtrack, and it was just on. It was just on this afternoon. I actually shut the TV off in the middle of it playing. Is the Lost Boys.
Oh yes, that's a good one. G Mac, I've had him on.
Yeah, the whole soundtrack to the Lost Boys, like
Timmy Capello, I've had him on too. I forgot. Yeah.
Is he the saxophone player?
Yeah, and I've met him in person. Yeah. Great guy.
I love that. Was he actually singing that song, or was he lip syncing it in the movie?
Oh no, he's actually singing that song.
He is? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, wasn't he Tina Turner's saxophone player too?
Yeah, he has mixed feelings about that whole thing. He said that she was kind of a diva and that she was jealous of him. You know.
Oh.
Yeah, because he stole the show, like literally stole the show.
He come out, he's all muscular and his ponytail, and he's very
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he had the confidence to strike out on his own necessarily, and then he had that opportunity to do that song for the movie, and then, you know...
He was in it. He was in the movie, too. He was in the scene in the movie singing the song. Yeah.
Yeah. And
that's a good soundtrack.
And he started out, like, when Billy Crystal started doing stand-up in New York, you know, Billy Crystal loves to do things and have music be played on piano in the background. That's when he got Mark Shaman to do it for his HBO specials. But in the 70s, Timmy Capello was doing it for him at like Catch a Rising Star or whatever. And he said that Billy Crystal is still one of the funniest guys he had ever met in his life.
Billy Crystal, Running Scared, the theme song with Sweet Freedom.
Try sweet freedom, shine a light on me.
That's a good song. Yeah. Yep. Michael McDonald.
Michael McDonald, yeah.
Yeah. See, he does a song from Thelma and Louise that I love, that I had to go back. It's called No Looking Back. It's one of my all-time favorite songs. It's in that movie, and I had to, like, it was hard for me to find it. And any time that, like, I'm, like, bummed out about something, I play that song, and it, like, I don't know, because I think about the lyrics and, like, No Looking Back now, like, you know, like, you just don't go back, like, go forward, you know. But I love, there's like this scene, they're driving down the road and they're in the convertible, and I just love that scene in the movie, and I love that song.
You know who sings the theme song to Running Scared is Fee Waybill of the Tubes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never even was thinking that. I didn't even go like that deep into movies, but yeah. I mean, there's some good. There's some big hits, and some of those are lesser known, like Running Scared. I don't know, you know, if people would really, you know, remember it.
Have you ever
Gregory
seen
Hines? I loved him.
Oh, he was great.
I loved him in Wolfen. Did you ever see Wolfen?
Yep, Wolfen. History of the World Part 1, The Cotton Club. He did some good movies.
Yep.
White Nights. Oh, that's a great soundtrack.
I always watch Wolfen at Halloween. It's like it's like one it was one I remember, like, from when I was a kid that scared the crap out of me, because like when they do the whole scenes, like with it's like infrared, you know, like you're looking through the wolf's eyes. It's really creepy. But that's a good movie. I don't know that it has a soundtrack to it, but yeah.
Have you ever seen Demons?
No, I've never seen that.
Italian horror movie, 1985. It's Lamberto Bava, and the soundtrack is so killer. It's got Billy Idol's White Wedding, Accepts, Fast as a Shark, Motley Crue, Save Our Souls, Rick Springfield, Pretty Maids, Go West, Saxon, all these heavy metal guys.
Oh, well, Billy Idol's in 16 Candles. He does Rebel Yell.
Yep.
You know, it's in 16 Candles. And when you said Rick Springfield, he did Hard to Hold, and there's a movie soundtrack to that movie.
Yep.
Only that movie stinks, but but the soundtrack's good. Yeah.
And I know an actress who was in a crowd of extras in that movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What's her name? Tiffany Helm, who played Violet in Friday the 13th Part 5, the punk rock girl. She was in there.
Oh, I know who that is.
Yeah.
I know who that is because I swear it's see the scene in Fire with Fire when they're watching the movie in the scene in the movie. I think they're watching part 5.
Yeah.
Friday the 13th, because they say he comes up to her and says, "Hey, Violet," you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a movie within a movie.
What else? Let's see. What else was on your list?
Well, okay. So did we talk about Vision Quest? Because
No, we got to talk about Vision Quest.
Okay, Changes with John Waite and Only the Young, Journey. The Vision Quest soundtrack has Into the Groove and Crazy for You, Madonna.
Lunatic Fringe.
I love those songs.
Red Rider, yeah, Lunatic Fringe.
Oh yeah, Lunatic Fringe. That's a great soundtrack. Yep.
Yeah.
And I like Changes when he's climbing the pegboard, you know, in the movie.
Yeah.
And then when he's jogging, just to Only the Young. I mean, it's a great scene, and all he's doing is running. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I interviewed Shoot a few years ago.
Oh, the guy who wrestles.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Frank Jasper, he's doing a lot of podcasts these days.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Have you find Michael Schauffling?
Nobody has found Michael Schauffling.
I know where he lives, don't you? Did you know that? I know where his house is.
Oh my God, was he near you?
He's in Pennsylvania.
Oh my God, yeah, I don't think
I actually drove by his house. I have a picture of it.
I don't think he wants anything to do with the industry.
He has a fence around his house.
Yeah.
You know, well, it's just a little white picket fence. But actually, Leanne Curtis told me to go knock on his door and say trick or treat.
Oh God.
Tell his fans going trick or treating, you know, and just like see if he answers the door. You know.
It'd be funny if you did that and he recognized you from your podcast.
I don't think so. You know, but
I know who you are. I'm not going to do an interview.
I know who you are. Go away. I wrote down Witness because I bought the soundtrack to Witness with the Amish. I sent it to my friend because she was crazy about that movie, and because they sing, you know, don't know much about history, you know, don't know much of biology, you know that song, and then. There's like a whole like background, you know, music to it. So yeah, and see, okay, so in Heartburn, I like the Carly Simon. What's the song? I think they do the Itsy Bitsy Spider in that, and then also in Working Girl.
Yeah.
The what's the theme song? The beginning song. I think it's I forget the name of it, but I think Carly Simon sings it because I was like, it's called Let the River Run.
Okay, Let the River Run.
Like Carly Simon. I like that song. I like Carly Simon though. So I like all her songs. So
yeah. There's an album she did called Playing Possum, and there's a song called Are You Ticklish, which, you know, that's one of my secret silly game questions, so I really love that song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I'm trying to think of any. I gave you all of mine, so I think I covered my whole list of. I mean, in Breakin 1 and 2, I mean, we didn't actually talk about the soundtracks, like
we can.
like, you know, we didn't talk about like, you know, Shaka Khan and Rufus and, you know, and
we can talk about it. You love that song, Ain't Nobody. It's a great song.
I love that song. It's like one of my favorite songs. I love it. I love that whole scene in that movie. Yeah, but but I love the end song too. There's No Stopping Us. I love that song.
Yeah.
That's a great song. And then in part 2, I love a lot of the music in part 2 too.
Ollie and Jerry, yeah, they did Electric Boogaloo and Breakin, There's No Stopping Us.
Yeah, what's the song in part 2 where he dances on the ceiling?
That's Electric Boogaloo.
Electric Boogaloo? Are you sure?
I think so.
No. What is that song? I have to look it up.
There's a group called 3V who do a song on the first soundtrack, Heart of the Beat. Dan Hartman, who sang I Can Dream About You.
I love that.
Yeah, he wrote that song.
Do you know what has a good soundtrack that just is that Dan Hartman's in? With Ian Lane. The one with
Ruthless People.
What is it?
Ruthless People.
No.
He did a song for that movie.
What's the one that Diane Lane and the one Michael Pere is in?
Oh, Streets of Fire.
Streets of Fire. Yes, I have that soundtrack. Oh, and you know what? And we have never talked about this movie, but I have the soundtrack to it. That I love it, and I don't know if you'll like it. But The Idolmaker.
Oh yeah, that's a good movie.
I love that movie, and see, Paul Landis in that movie. He would have been like a person that I would have talked to, but I read that he got killed in a car wreck like some years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, but I love The Idolmaker, and Ray Sharkey's dead, so like that's whatever. But yeah, I have the soundtrack to it because the songs "Sweet Little Lover" and then the guy that plays Cesare in it. It's what's his name? He's in While You Were Sleeping. Peter Gallagher.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in it. And now I don't know if he's singing or if he's lip syncing to it, but whoever's singing that, if it's really Peter Gallagher, he should have had a hit record. He was phenomenal in it. You know.
Mm-hmm.
He sings like one of these. I think it's called. One of these nights, I think, or something like that. Something about the night. But Electric Boogaloo was Din Da Da. That song, is in part 2.
Yeah.
I like that. And then When I See You, when they dance to Ollie and Jerry, when they do in the ICU.
Yeah.
And when I see you, and then it's ICU. I just thought that was so cute. That's so cute, you know.
Yeah, that's a crazy scene.
What is Gotta Have the Money?
Mm-hmm.
That's in there. I'm trying to think what the song is that he dances on the ceiling. Is it Is it Stylin'?
Probably. I got to go back and watch it. It's been a while.
Yeah. I have to look at that scene. But yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, the Idolmaker soundtrack. I have a ton of movie soundtracks. I like kind of collect them,
mm-hmm.
you know. And yeah, even though I don't like Top Gun, I mean, I have the soundtrack to it. So yeah, but yeah, I can't. That's about all I got.
I heard something interesting. The first Breakin soundtrack made number 8 on the U.S. pop charts, and then Breakin 2 made number 52. Wow.
Oh, the Goonies. We didn't say the Goonies.
Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah. Good enough for you.
Oh, that REO Speedwagon song gives me chills. It reminds me of I Want to Know What Love Is from Foreigner. It's called Wherever You're Going, It's All Right.
Oh, you know what is like the number one movie that we should be talking about, like of the 80s, the soundtracks, is Dirty Dancing.
I hate Dirty Dancing.
You hate that movie, but the soundtrack, there's two, isn't it like a double record?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had a time of my life and Hungry Eyes.
Purple Rain.
Purple Rain.
Yeah.
Purple Rain. That's a great album.
I love Purple Rain. How did we not include Purple Rain?
Probably because it's Prince.
Let's include it now.
And there's so much. Yeah, let's talk about that. Probably because it's Prince, you know, and he's so legendary that you're kind of thinking about all the one-hit wonders of that era.
So the entire soundtrack of Purple Rain is the best. Purple Rain is I watched it right after I went to the prom. You know, it's I love Purple Rain. I had Prince buttons on, that people wore on their jean jackets and on their. I had to have one on my purse, and I love Prince. My friend just gave me Prince's book that for Christmas. I haven't read it yet, but I have his book. So that I love that movie. I don't even know if I've ever talked about Purple Rain as a movie. I don't even know, even on the podcast I do with Patrick, I don't even know that I've ever talked about Purple Rain. I should. I love it.
Yeah.
Cocktail. We never talked about the soundtrack to Cocktail.
Kokomo.
Good stuff. I like the first song by Ken. I think it's Kenny. Is it? No, it's Loverboy. I'm pretty sure is the first song on that, and they have and the Beach Boys, Don't Worry, Be Happy by Bobby McFerrin, but Kokomo,
Kokomo.
all of those, all shook up.
Yeah.
Flash Gordon has great.
Yeah,
Queen.
Master of the Universe.
How do I not? I love and Flash Gordon. I love. Did Did you ever talk to Melody Anderson?
Yes, I did.
Did you talk to Sam Jones?
I met him. He hit on my mom in front of his wife at a con once, but I did try to get.
What's your mom look like?
What?
Your mom? What's your mom look like? She's always getting hit on.
Well, back then she was. This was 5 years ago. Now she's aged into an old lady, but at that time she was still dyeing her hair.
In that direction. Yeah.
She was still dyeing her hair. But
you know what's another great movie that is my husband's all-time favorite movie? Has an excellent soundtrack. I can't believe I didn't mention it. Was The Big Chill. You probably don't like that movie.
No, I love it.
Do you love The Big Chill?
I mean, the soundtrack is great, Motown and stuff, but
yeah.
I do love The Big Chill. In fact, I'm looking at my VHS copy of it now.
I love The Big Chill, and I do have the soundtrack to it, like Ain't Too Proud to Beg and My Girl. It has like Smokey Robinson on it.
Who's the dead friend that was
Marvin
cut?
Gaye. I heard it through the grapevine.
Who's the dead friend that was cut out of the movie?
Evan Costner.
Yep.
Three. Yeah. The Blues Brothers. Oh, Say Anything. We didn't say anything about Say Anything.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Peter Gabriel, In Your Eyes is on it.
Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's awesome. That's great. Can't believe we didn't think of those. Yeah.
Cult of Personality from Living Colours on that soundtrack. Taste of Pain from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Within Your Reach by The Replacements. Say Anything's a good soundtrack.
Yeah, it is. It's a good one. Yep. Yeah. You think any more?
That's about it.
Wow, those are a lot. I don't know how many maybe 40 or 50?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I didn't keep count.
Yeah. But I can't believe, Purple Rain. I mean, Let's Go Crazy, When Doves Cry, I Would Die for You, Take Me With You, all of those.
The first time I ever heard Darling Nikki, this guy I know was doing it in karaoke, and he was like down on the ground humping air during it, and I was laughing so hard because I had always heard it was a controversial song, but I had never actually heard it, and I was cracking up.
Oh, and then they edit it for TV too. But Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I mean, when he does Twist and Shout, I mean that's they have a soundtrack to that movie. There's a soundtrack to that movie. Stand By Me. There's a soundtrack to it. There's a lot. There's so many. Raiders of the Lost Ark. They have a soundtrack. Some Kind of Wonderful. That's another. I love that movie. I love Some Kind of Wonderful. They have even the opening scene where she's playing the drums.
Mm-hmm. I
mean that has music all through it. That's a great movie. Do you like that one?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. I just keep trying to come up. Like I keep going. I'm like addicted to Tubi. Like that's how I keep finding.
Remember Paul McCartney's movie? Give My Regards to Broad Street.
What's that one?
Give My Regards to Broad Street, the Paul McCartney movie.
Oh, I don't even know that.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
Okay, the music's great. The movie is awful. What's his name from Cocktail?
Yeah.
The bad guy from Cocktail. Brian Brown is in it. So Paul loses a recording tape. And the whole movie is about him getting it back. And it interludes to all these, like, music video fantasy sequences. You see him doing a techno version of Silly Love Songs with, what's his name from Toto? Steve Lukather playing guitar. It's really, really cool, I have to say.
See, okay, so that just triggered, like, Adventures in Babysitting at the beginning when she's singing.
And then he kissed me.
Yeah. And then he kissed me. Yeah. That has to have a soundtrack. If they put a song in the movie, they have a soundtrack to it somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I that's a good movie too. I can't believe I didn't think Karate Kid because that's a good one. Yeah. Yeah, we keep talking. We'll keep coming up with we'll keep like it's like 1 degree of separation from each movie. Like if you could play a game where like you name a movie like a song,
Uh-huh.
from a movie, and then then the next person has to name another movie with the same,
Right.
the same musician from, the other movie before, and then you keep
Right.
going until somebody misses. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And make up a game.
Oh, Back to School.
Oh yeah.
That had Oingo Boingo, Dead Man's Party. That had Jude Cole doing the theme song. That had Rodney, of course, doing Twist and Shout.
Yep.
Yeah. Michael Bolton. Everybody's crazy.
That's Easy Money. Is there Back to School? There's a soundtrack to Back to School too.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. No.
Easy Money. Oh,
Easy
okay.
Money was Billy
both
Joel.
Rodney Dangerfield. Yeah.
No, Easy Money was Billy Joel.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of soundtracks.
That's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot of soundtracks. Yeah.
So how are things overall for you going?
Pretty good. I'm doing all right. Yep. I don't need one more catastrophe. I've had enough of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, my son's doing well, and I've been booking lots of people, here at the B&B, and and everything's going. I'm gonna. Who else I'm gonna talk to? That I talked to, and I think I found her through you. Is Mary Beth Rubens from plays Kelly in
Prom Night. Yeah.
Prom Night. Yeah. I talked to her. I sent her a message.
It was like 2 years before she finally did it, I'll tell you, because I don't know, she's like dealt with a lot of like sexist, creepy guys, She wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to be a creep or anything,
Oh.
And she
well,
let me.
I'm not a creepy guy.
I know. I'm just saying though. For me, it was a hard one to do and stuff,
Yeah.
But she loved me.
I can understand that with women, I wasn't sure about the one, I just, I don't know, I don't know, you know what I mean? I think, what can it hurt, if somebody asked me to do something, but, they're just on the phone, they're not, in my face, so, yeah.
I mean, no doubt I'm not PC or anything, right? But I respect women.
Yeah. Yep. Well, so do I, because I am one. So, yeah, and I talked to her, and we wrote back and forth, and we have stuff in common. And she's from Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Told me if it gets if come November it gets too scary here, I can flee to Canada. I'm keeping that on the back burner as my escape, from whatever may go down that could be bad. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think we kind of covered. Oh, Prom Night had an excellent soundtrack, though. I mean, honestly,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love the Prom Night. The song Prom Night.
Yeah.
Everything is all right. And then
Fright Night. Fright Night had a good soundtrack.
What did?
Fright Night.
Fright Night did. I love Fright Night. Oh my gosh, I love Fright Night, and I love that song that they danced to in the dance scene in the club. Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, there are some horror movies that do have. Does Christine have a? Christine has a soundtrack to it because I've seen it in a record store. It was expensive because I was with a friend, and I think it was maybe $60, maybe. And it's I try and spend no more than $15 to $20 for a good soundtrack if I really want it.
Yeah.
So yeah, because some of them are there's a lot of them out there, and then some of them are hard to find. So
I interviewed Alan Howarth, and I think we talked about the Christine soundtrack.
Did we?
No, me and Alan Howarth, who
Yeah.
did the music with Carpenter. Yeah, I think him and I talked about it.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, I'm when you said him, when you said we talked about it, I'm like, me and you talked about it? Yeah,
No,
I don't remember that.
No.
Okay, no wonder. I thought it was getting a little dementia going on there, but yeah. Okay. Yeah, well, okay, well, it was fun. We'll have to, I don't know what else we could talk about,
Yeah.
Do what else could we ever talk about?
I don't know.
We'll
We'll
time on your podcast, maybe?
I don't know. We'll figure it out
Yeah.
eventually and stuff. But I always have fun with you.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it was fun. I love doing this one. This one was awesome. And a
Yeah.
friend of mine said she was just talking about movie soundtracks. So I said, okay, I'm going to be, on your podcast talking about them. So stay tuned. And she actually had mentioned like Zap to me, and I had forgot about it. So that's where it jogged my memory when she said about Zapped. And I think she said a couple other ones. Is there a movie called 7 Minutes in Heaven or something
Yes.
like that? And does
Yes.
it have a soundtrack to it?
That's a good question. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I'm sure
I
it
mean,
does.
I haven't seen it, but that's. Did you ever see a movie called Birdie?
Oh yeah, that's Alan Parker's movie.
Oh, wait a minute. There one at Clint Eastwood. Isn't there one? What's the
Oh,
old
that's
movie?
Bird. Bird is Clint Eastwood.
Is it called Bird?
Yes, because it's about Charlie Parker. His nickname was Bird.
I'm thinking of one with a woman in it. That's a one word.
Birdie is Alan Parker's movie from 1984.
That might not be the movie. What movie did Clint Eastwood do like in the 70s? And I think it has a girl, and it's her name in it. Maybe that's not it.
Play Misty for Me.
What is it?
Play Misty for Me.
No, Play Misty for Me. I know it and love it. No, there's a movie that my friend Gail had told me about that I should watch, and I tried to look it up, and I couldn't find it anywhere.
Interesting.
But, yeah, and I figured you probably had seen it. So, yeah. So.
I have a joke for you.
Okay. Okay.
What kind of meat does a priest eat on Friday?
What kind of
Meat does a priest eat on Friday?
does a priest eat on Friday? I don't know.
None.
None. Oh my god.
I love puns.
Okay.
I love bad puns.
Okay, that's a bad nun pun.
Bad
Okay.
nun pun, exactly.
Nun pun. Okay. Or a nun for the nun. Yeah, a nun. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I never get those. So yeah. Okay, but that was a good one. Okay.
Thank you, Lisa.
Okay. Thanks, Tommy. It was fun.
Absolutely, it always is. And you have yourself a great rest of your day. Be safe out there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
Okay, bye.
Well, there you have it. Lisa Everetts. Oh my God, I just love her. Every time we talk, it's fun. And I'm so glad that we talked about movie soundtracks today. She is just a whirlwind, a ball of energy. I just love talking with her. And sadly, we had to do it over the phone again after we did 2 wonderful Facebook Messenger calls previously. But hey, it worked out just fine. Well, until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying there's no shame in living in the past because the present sucks. Later, dudes.